The Galactic Council had always maintained a safe distance from the third planet of the Sol system. Earth, as its inhabitants called it, was classified as a Class 3 Deathworld, a designation reserved for planets so hostile that the mere thought of landing there sent shivers through even the most hardened space explorers. The beings that somehow thrived on this nightmare world were known throughout the galaxy as the humans, though most civilized species preferred the more clinical term, Deathworlders. Commander Vel of the Altarian Republic had heard the stories, of course, how these creatures lived on a world where the very atmosphere was poison to most galactic species, where liquid acid fell from the sky regularly, and where the surface was torn apart by massive geological upheavals. How they had somehow not only survived but flourished in such an environment, developing technology that rivaled some of the galaxy's most advanced civilizations. But stories were just stories, until today. The distress beacon had started broadcasting 3 standard hours ago from the outer rim of the Sol system. A Zentran exploration vessel, the Harmony's Dream, had suffered a catastrophic engine failure and was drifting helplessly toward the Deathworld's gravity well. Aboard were 200 Zentran scientists, researchers who had been studying cosmic phenomena from what they believed was a safe distance. The Zentran were among the galaxy's most peaceful species, delicate, ethereal beings who communicated through harmonic resonances and had never raised a weapon in anger for over a millennium. They possessed no military vessels, no weapons of war, only exploration ships designed for the pursuit of knowledge. The Galactic Council had been debating the appropriate response for hours. Several rescue fleets had been proposed, but all would take days to reach the outer Sol system. The Zentran vessel would be pulled into Earth's atmosphere long before help could arrive. The mathematics were brutally simple. 200 innocent lives would be lost unless someone closer could intervene. That someone, as it turned out, was humanity. The first human transmission had been brief and matter-of-fact. "We've received your distress signal. Stand by for assistance." The voice belonged to Captain Jake Reynolds of the Terran Defense Force, speaking from the bridge of the TDF Phoenix, a human warship that had been conducting routine patrols near the edge of their home system. Vel had tried to warn them. The Zentran vessel was massive, nearly 3 kilometers long and containing delicate scientific equipment worth more than some planet's entire gross domestic product. Any attempt to alter its trajectory would require precise calculations and enormous amounts of power. The risk of causing more damage was substantial. The human captain's response had been disturbing in its confidence. "Understood. We'll handle." "I will." What followed defied everything the Galactic Council thought they knew about the Deathworlders. The Phoenix had accelerated toward the failing Zentran ship at speeds that should have liquefied any organic crew. The human vessel's approach was not the cautious, measured response of a typical rescue operation. Instead, it moved with the decisive aggression of a predator closing in on prey. But then something unprecedented happened. The human ship didn't attempt to dock with the Zentran vessel or establish a traditional rescue protocol. Instead, it began broadcasting a wide-spectrum signal that somehow synchronized with the Harmony's Dream's failing systems. Within minutes, the Zentran ship's engines roared back to life, powered by some form of energy transfer that the galaxy's best scientists couldn't immediately explain. Commander Vel watched in amazement as the massive exploration vessel pulled away from Earth's gravity well, its systems functioning better than they had in months. The impossible rescue had taken less than 30 minutes, but the humans weren't finished. Long-range sensors detected another presence in the system, a small fleet of Korgan raiders who had been trailing the Zentran vessel, waiting for it to become completely helpless before moving in to strip it of valuable technology and sell the crew into slavery. The Korgan were known throughout the galaxy as ruthless pirates who preyed on peaceful exploration vessels. The Phoenix detected the raider fleet the moment they began their approach. What happened next would be discussed in military academies across the galaxy for generations. The human warship didn't attempt to negotiate or issue warnings. There was no diplomatic protocol, no measured response. The Phoenix simply moved to intercept the Korgan fleet with mechanical efficiency. The battle, if it could be called that, lasted exactly 4 minutes and 37 seconds. The human vessel tore through the raider formation like a force of nature. Its weapon systems operated with precision that seemed almost supernatural, each shot perfectly calculated to disable rather than destroy. Within minutes, the entire Korgan fleet was dead in space, their ships powerless and drifting. But the humans had done something that chilled the galactic observers to their core. They had perfectly identified and eliminated every single threat while leaving the pirates alive. Every Korgan vessel was intact but completely helpless, their crews unharmed but utterly defeated. The message was clear and terrifying in its implications. The Deathworlders hadn't just eliminated a threat. They had demonstrated complete and absolute dominance over it. They had shown that they could end the fight whenever they chose, however they chose. Captain Reynolds's final transmission was characteristically brief. Zentran vessel is secure. Korgan raiders are neutralized and ready for Council pickup. Phoenix. Returning to patrol. Sol system remains stable. As the human warship disappeared back toward Earth, Commander Vel realized that everything the galaxy thought it knew about the Deathworlders had been woefully inadequate. These weren't just survivors who had adapted to a hostile world. They were apex predators who had been shaped by that world into something far more dangerous than anyone had imagined. The gentle Zentran researchers sent their gratitude through harmonic transmissions that resonated across several star systems. The Korgan pirates sat in their disabled ships contemplating how completely they had been outmatched. And throughout the galaxy, military strategists began the uncomfortable process of recalculating everything they thought they knew about human capabilities. The Deathworlders had spoken and the universe had listened.